Hello and welcome back to Riverview uh, on Farm Sim 25, the challenge. I've already accepted 3 contracts. I was busy doing something else before I could actually do anything, but they are cultivating contracts, as you can see. We have 39 hours to get them all done. So if you're wondering, why have I been away, what have I been up to, where do I need to go? I think this will be the quicker way. What have I been up to? Why haven't I been putting out any videos on the challenge? Well, I've been working on updating this map. The are you going by? No? Okay. So yeah, I should have gone the opposite way around, because actually this wouldn't have been the quickest way. This would be the slowest way. Oh well. It is what it is. So one of the changes is to do with the warehouse, being able to buy all of the different produces from a warehouse that have been implemented with the map, such as dough, etc. These lovely apple trees have a unique ability now, and I'm not going to show it, but this house, which is it me or is that house leaning? Looks like it's leaning. Anyway, might want to get your foundations checked out, but that house and this wall would go bye-bye. And if I go into here, you'll see now that you can buy said plot of land for 24,000. You buy all the houses in this stretch, and each house has an apple tree. Removing said apple tree will remove the house and the wall around it and anything else that's associated with that plot of land, or with that where the house is situated, apart from trees and cuttable hedges. You have to remove them yourself. But what that means is you could decide that I don't want these houses, I want to put productions here. You could absolutely do that. Hang on, I've got a zip that keeps catching on my wire. You could do that. Same with them houses there. Same with the village. Buy all of that and do the same there. Get off. More houses. Even the small island can now be utilised. These houses down here, even up by the bakery. So basically, you wanted customization options within the map. Well, don't break. Good boy. The map is definitely much more customizable. Collectibles are now on the map. Yes, I know. In the description it stated customize collectibles was there, and originally they were, but there was an issue with them, and rather than faff around trying to fix them, I sent the map back into Giants without the collectibles in and forgot to update the description. But I didn't. How many cars are here today? It's busy today. I didn't expect, to be honest, the map to pass. Personally, I really. Have we hit rush hour or something? Only one more behind us. Okay. This is what you get for going the long way around. Oh, another one coming up behind us, of course there is. You'll notice there's no cement trucks. They have been removed. Because, well, yeah, there was a pain. So they're gone. I will see how everything else plays out, but currently I haven't seen any issues with the traffic since the cement trucks was removed. Not to say there won't be. Yeah, we should have definitely gone the other way. The next change is Doe, and all the fill types I've added into the map, their prices have been redone. Another car passing us? No? No, that's our engine, okay. I was going to say, I think we've had enough cars overtake us today. But yeah, there's been a few things, and now also the harbour, you can sell electric charge, you can sell diesel, you can sell methane, you can sell all the lovely stuff that you formerly couldn't do. Yeah, that all looks good to me. Let's go. Remember buttons, that one. Yep. See, I might not have played Farm Sim for a while, but I still kind of remember how to Farm Sim. So, all in all, Riverview dropped unexpectedly. As I said, I expected it to fail personally, and the version that would have been Sense and Giants would have had everything that's in it right now. Just saying. But it passed, which I'm not complaining about. I mean, it was nice. It was you guys get to play it and enjoy it. The most important thing for us was we were happy that the map was in a very good playable state as it was. Other than the missing collectibles and the things that the description stated that wasn't actually there. I wasn't too concerned about, because you know it's there now. Apart from precision farming, because precision farming isn't even out, so the map isn't obviously going to be precision farming ready. It can't be. Sorry guys. But it will be made precision farming ready or compatible when precision farming comes out. And I've got to watch quite a few people playing on Riverview and got some good feedback and some not so good feedback. I mean, it hasn't all been roses, and I wouldn't expect it to be. You know, it's not like it's the best map in the world. It was never meant to be the best map in the world. It was a map that a lot of people like, and they're happy to see you back and being able to play on it again. And it was good to see that there was so far, other than mod conflictions with that were conflicting with each other rather than the map, that they've been addressed, and they've been hopefully fixed. One of them was the financing mod. It would cause a Lua error, and that hopefully has been fixed. It says that the Lua issues has been fixed, and also issues with compatibility with other mods has been addressed. We'll find out. We've got that mod in here. Hopefully it has, because it's a mod that I was definitely wanting to use. Just trying to think if there's anything too important to bring up, other than the most important thing of it all is this update will require a new save game. I'm sorry about that. I don't particularly like to put out updates that require a new save, but sometimes you have to, and I think the pros and cons between a new save or putting an update out that requires a new save has to add something significant within the update, and making this map far more customizable, customize friendly, or customizable probably would have been a better word. The original word I used outweighs the cons of leaving that out. And those of you who are in a current save that you don't want to start over again, do not update when the update comes out, because it will break your save game. Just an FYI. You will get errors because of missing farmlands. If you're on PC, I mean, it's easy to fix, but it's on console, you can't do that, sadly. Another change is when you buy a production point now, you also buy the land with the production point. Again, increasing customization within the map, so you don't buy just the peripheral now doesn't buy all the plots that the production points was located are on. Now they're their own individual plots, and means the peripheral costs a bit less, has a little bit less unique options to buying it, but the map is pretty much fully customizable now, other than sell points, and you can't really do much with them, but you can still buy the land that they're on and add your own things to them if you so wish. Virtual Farmer and the Average Viking have been sent the update for the map. If they wish to update to that version, then the information required is also being provided to do so, but they're not forced to. It's up to them if they wish to. I would never force anybody to go, yeah, I've got to update the save game. I know technically I am by putting out the update, but I mean, I wouldn't turn around and say, you know, I'm sorry, but you have to update your save game. You can't start a new save. I would give people the chance to update their save game, because some people have put a lot of work into their save game. So on the Discord, when the version is sent off to Giants, any required things will be provided on the Discord for those on PC to update their save game, should they wish to. And most likely a video tutorial will be provided, so that it's easy to follow, and you can do that then. Like I said, people on console, sadly they can't do that. Feel really bad for them guys, but like I said, the reason behind this was that it was beneficial to provide the option, or provide much more customization within the map. But everybody who's given feedback, I thank you. It's very much appreciated. I'm open to all forms of feedback. If you're going to be critical of the map, be critical, but constructively. Don't just turn around and say, oh, the map's bad, I don't like it, because that ain't going to help anybody. You know. And if you're enjoying the map and you haven't rated it on the mod hub yet, go and give it a rating. You know, that's your way of telling the modders what you think of their mod, how much you rate their mod. It takes just a couple of seconds just to go and rate something, and if you're using it, you may as well rate it. If you're enjoying it, rate it. Because all the people who hate the stuff, or the people who just like to downplay everything and give half a star to anything, are the very first people that rate anything. They literally download something and they give everything a bad rating that they've downloaded, because that's what they are. They're just like that. So to combat that, those who do enjoy the mods that they're using, the maps that they're playing, go and rate them. Give them the justice that they deserve and the rating that they should have, rather than the rating that all these people who think it's funny to give half a star on everything, because it's not nice. And if you don't like somebody's work, don't use it. But that doesn't mean go and download their whatever they've put out and then give it a half a star rating, because that's not nice either. You know, you ain't going to use it, so why do you need to rate it? Just rate the stuff that you like and give it a rating that you feel it is justifiable for your feelings on that particular thing. You know, I'm not going to turn around and say go and give every bonder that you've got a 5-star rating. No, because not every mod is worth a 5-star rating. But give it what you think it should, or what you think it's worth, up to a 5-star rating. And if you think it's worth 4 stars, then give it a 4. You think it's only worth 2.5, give it a 2.5. But rate it. It's something that we modders like to see. It gives us some feedback on how people feel about the work that we've put out. And it's a way of you guys saying thank you for all your hard work that you put into doing this for us. And there's more modders out there today than there has ever been in Farm Sim. And it's a growing hobby that we should be proud of. There's a lot of skilled and talented people out there. And one thing I can't emphasize more than anything is don't go and, you know, try and make a modder feel bad. Don't go out of your way to try and ruin a modder's not ruin, but to slander a modder for their creations. If you don't like it, walk away from it. You don't. Everybody is more than welcome to put their 2 cents on something, but they don't need to go around slandering somebody for something that they didn't like. because if you keep doing it, eventually there'll be less modders doing what you want and giving you less mods, and the game will start getting boring, or you'll get to the point where the ones that you've lashed out at may have been really good modders, and you're left with what you might then conceive as mediocre modders putting out average work and full of bugs, and it's not good. Modders learn from each other and from you guys with your feedback. 25 is an early game still in the modding community, still early days. Things will only get better as time goes on. Give it a chance. And modding has changed so much since I first started. It's crazy how much it's changed, actually. Whenever I'm doing a video, I always end up going on a rant. Always. But yeah, I've been watching, I've been listening, and I've heard bad things being said about certain modders out there. I'm not going to mention names, but it's not good. It annoys me when I see it happening. So on that note, I will leave it with just go and rate the stuff that you like. If you find a bug with something that you're using, report it to the person who made that particular mod. They might tell you it's a mod conflict, in which case there isn't, that you know how to be fixed. Then you can remove the mod that's causing the confliction and enjoy the work that they've put out. Or they might go, yep, that's a bug, and I'll get that fixed, and it'll be sent off to Giants as soon as possible, and meaning that more people can enjoy the mod without the bug. Because you'll be surprised how many bugs can be found and be fixed, but there's always one that gets missed, and you could have 100 people playing the same map, do it using the same equipment, and it could all be modded equipment and not run into a problem. Somebody else joins and they have a problem, and they haven't got any additional mods in their folder. They're running exactly what everybody else is running, but they have an issue, or even if they do have other mods in the folder, and then it comes out data confliction, and it's a particular mod that's conflicting with the mod that everybody else is using, a mod that everybody else is using, and or it becomes a map issue. But it's how things get fixed, is by reporting them. I would personally prefer someone to go, I'm having this problem on your map, and then half a year down the line find out that it was a bug that never got fixed because it was never reported. I'd rather somebody report a bug for something that I'm enjoying using, that I don't come across the bug myself, but if it fixes that particular issue, and I will never come across that bug, but at least I know that that bug has been fixed, and I don't have to worry about that particular problem. Yeah, we got rain coming in, haven't we? Lovely. You're just going to chill there, dear? Well, I'm coming down that row, I hope you know. So, I'm sorry, but yeah. Thank you. Oh, there's another one over there as well. Got 2 deer in this field. That's it, you can just chill over there. I have to say I've been wanting to jump back on this challenge, but I didn't want to jump back on it until I'd got the update all sorted. Once I knew the update was done, which was done like last night, I immediately updated my save game, done a backup and then updated my save game, and didn't touch Farm Sim after that. Just sat there talking to people, watching some people on YouTube or Twitch, and but all the time I was thinking, I just want to get back into my challenge and start making some money. Oh, one of the other changes is farmland prices have been reduced slightly, not much, just slightly. Oh, we're done. We probably was done on the last row. I just wasn't paying any attention to the top, but it's fine. We missed just a little bit there out of the whole field. There's the deer running up the mountain. Why not? May as well. So we need to go across the bridge. So we'll just stay on this road and follow it around. and do that. The AI spline, the spline above. Oh, sorry, wasn't paying any attention. Almost ran you over. Above field 29 and 30. The spline there has been addressed, so the AI will, if you use a hired driver, will not try and drive off the bridge anymore to get to the dirt track below. there is a couple of files I could have updated because I don't own any fields. Oh well. Because I changed some foliage here and there. But it's no big deal. Those are the things that you would see in a new save. And I'm not starting a new save. Next field, isn't it? Not this one. And this one. You're only giving me the headlands. Why is that? Let me get into the field first. Let's see what you're going to give me then. So reset. Okay, interesting. We'll find out in a minute. We're 7.8 hours on this tractor so far. It's not bad. And I was saying to Matt from the Shanty Boys earlier, I think I will be updating to Windows 11 soon because October of 2025 support for Windows 10 ends. So I will probably do that after I've got Maypole all ported over, because some things have changed on from Windows 10 that I would have to get used to on Windows 11. So I'll probably put Maypole over and then update, because while testing is being done on Maypole, I can be getting used to Windows 11 before I then move on to Ebony Island. There's a nice view over there actually. Just see everything just poking up over the top of above the hedge line. The mist in the background. Not looking forward to winter, but that's why I'm trying to push and save up as much money as I can, so that during the winter months I can pay off my loan, cover the running costs, and not go bankrupt, because there will be, well, practically nothing that I can do until after the snow is defrosted, or the snow is gone even. And then hopefully by next year two, the end of year two, we'd have a farmyard and we'd have things going, and winter would be a bit more hands-on, shall we say. You really haven't given me anything for this field, have you? That is interesting. But automatic, you ain't giving me anything. Okay, well. You're still not giving me anything. What the hell? No. I guess we're doing this. We're eyeballing this one then, huh? Now, I've not come across that particular problem before. But then I haven't gone into a field before and tried to, before working it, tried to update the lines. The GPS even. It'll be fine. Just means that we won't have any lines to follow, and we'll just have to do it all manually. Could be a mod that I put in that's conflicting somehow. I don't know how or why, but it is what it is. Oops, I lost my wheel then. Well, obviously I was never going to make that turn. I think I'm actually turning slightly, aren't I? It's not perfectly straight now. Okay. Did this fog suddenly just change then, or was that me? It seemed like it got a bit foggier all of a sudden. Oh yeah, because we've got the rain coming in, haven't we? That'll be why. It's looking a bit straighter. I like the sound that this tractor makes actually. You don't hear it much when you're in the cab, but outside of the cab, yeah, it's got a nice little sound to it. And so here's your chance to say what you like about Farm Sim 25, because we've had so many changes to Farm Sim 25. Maybe there's some things that I haven't heard or seen that actually are really nice. So let's go with sounds for the first one. Is there a piece of equipment that you like the sound of, and if so, what is it? And is it a mod or is it a base game? I'd prefer if it's base game stuff that we're talking about here over mods for now, but if it's a particular mod, then by all means, you know. And it's not because I've got anything against mods, it's more I wanted to know what Giants have brought in that you like the sound of. The fog over there, wow. Let's put you on cruise control a minute while we get feedback on the weather. Oh, okay. We're fine. Oof, that looks terrible. Or was it just the angle that I was coming at? Uh-oh. Oh well, I screwed that turn up. We're wasting the working width of this cultivator doing this. But yeah, this tractor has a nice sound to it. When it's idle, you're just sitting there. Or you've got low revs. It has a really nice sound to it. First time I heard that sound was in FS22 with one of the masses sound like a Huey helicopter. In fact, I had that. Somebody asked, where's the helicopter? You put a helicopter in the map because I can hear a helicopter. And it's like, nope, that's the sound of the massing. Of course, I don't hear the sound anymore. We'll find out in a minute. So this cultivator is more or less paid for itself easily because yeah, we've done a lot of cultivating contracts. It's not making it now. Okay, interesting. But we'll definitely be working in the rain when we come to doing the big field. But at 20,000, you couldn't turn around and say no to doing that field. I can't remember if I put the more realistic weather mod in on this. I think I did, but I'm not 100% sure. Seagull. Being a bit of a quick turnaround. Maybe I was just hearing things, because I just can't get the tractor to make that sound again. power. A few revs, it's just not doing it. There we go, another contract completed. Is this the field I can get out of land? It's not, is it? Okay. It's fine. Not grown back yet then, huh? As you can see, we've got our hedges back now along here. If you remember in the last episode I was surprised that the hedges was missing. Well, they're very much back. Down to half a tank of fuel. Hopefully when we get to the next field we will have a fully functional GPS. Hopefully. Ironic that I'm saying that because one time I refused to use GPS and now I'm using GPS. Oh, these walls, yes, you can now sell them now. But I can't do it from I will save it while I'm in here actually, because I've got auto save switched off, I believe. Yes, but you will be able to sell them if you buy the land. So, like I said, things that was missed out in the or incorrectly informed of in the mod desk file has been addressed. They were features that was coming in, just hadn't been implemented in that version that was sent off to Giants at that point in time. Same with this wall, you can remove that. Same with the walls on the main farm, you can remove them. And those walls you can even place back down if you like. You have got the ability to put those walls down. And we do have a fully functional GPS. But we need to be on that line. And so I will have to keep an eye out on that other field and see if it was an issue with that field before I rule it out as being anything else. That was... You heard that sound, right? So it's obviously must be when you back up that that sound comes in. Whereas the Massey, you'd be driving forward and you'd have that sound. I guess we've missed every corner we've missed out. It'll be fine. I'm just enjoying the views. Don't mind me. But we will. I can't see this field being done in 4 hours, I think. I think it'll be raining by the time we finish this field. You hear it there? Oh, that's the sound. So it's when you reverse and you get that sound. I like that sound. I also like the sound of the air brakes that you get when it goes, you know, just little, and the sound of the rain hitting the cab. I'm yet to hear hail on a cab. I don't think I've done that yet. See if it sounds different to rain, because that'd be interesting. Yeah, as they always say, the little things make a huge difference. And this tractor doesn't make that have that sound when you brake, and the air brake kind of sound kicking in the air coming out. But it's we're going that way. But we're going back a minute because we're completely screwing that all up, and we do not want to be missing all that. And it was good to get on to Wreckfest Friday. I hadn't been on for a while, and then later that day, or my time would be the next day, but later that day for the guys that I played with, Cowboy, Lead Dog, and Cozy, etc. Played more Wreckfest with them guys for a bit. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. as you guys know, I enjoy my racing. I don't take it as serious as I used to anymore. I still want to win. I mean, that I don't think ever goes away with anybody. But I'm more content if I've had a good race and didn't win than what I used to be. I never used to get the arse and throw, a tantrum. I would kick myself for not practicing enough to be able to counter whatever everybody else was doing, for not having the lines down to perfection, or the breaking points, or things like that. But we're going back to my league racing days, where a good portion of my day was testing just on the next race track, constantly just testing, checking setup, changing things, seeing how it works, seeing if it improves anything. Constantly just trying to find the perfect balance between my race style and the lifespan of my tyres, so I could do a stint that, or complete the race under a condition that isn't going to add extra pit stops on. I was more of the kind of person who tried to preserve the life of their tyres rather than push them and wear them out after several laps and then deal with the consequences later on. And I was more hold my tyres lifespan back, but be competitive to those around me. And then hopefully, when those that have pushed their tyres, who are the leaders, who was always pushing as hard as they could, hopefully then I'm able to match or even hopefully outperform those guys, and just maybe I'll be able to then start adding stress to them and putting them under a bit more pressure to maybe change their strategy or push and then force them into a mistake. And if I caught up with some that I knew I couldn't get past them, I would literally sit behind them and watch their lines, compare their lines to my lines, and then after I pitted, I would try their lines out and see if it made any difference. And it was just all a part of the learning, and it was thoroughly enjoyable. So anyone who wants to go into league racing, doesn't have to be the NFL kind of MFL, whatever the league is for F1 these days. You don't have to go into that kind of league at the moment, but there are forums and sites out there that do closed in-house, or not in-house, but closed league racing. Hence where my name came from. Cavalier Roy was my league racing name. If you're interested in that, go and search it, put your name down. If a spot becomes available, then you might be able to get in and show people what you can do. Just don't do what some people do and think that it's okay to ram, because I don't know how the league racing's set up now, but back when I did it, if I was racing against somebody and I hit them and they spun, they lost control, they would have to give me that position back. And if that meant that they would drop, from the front of the race to the back of the race to give me that position back, then that was their punishment. Today, I don't know if that's still how it goes, but I had to do it a few times, not very often, but I did have to do it a couple of times. It happened more often in um, 5-lap races where it wasn't a league race. It was just, for us, it was practice. We would, some of us who did league racing would go into the sprint races just to have a laugh and test our setups out, and sometimes it'd happen in there, and somebody would be trying to overtake or undertake, and we'd run into each other, and they would carry on and I'd get spun, or they would get spun and I would let them back, even though it was their fault. Sometimes I would still let them through, and then I'd pass them under a different way, and then sometimes you'd have people who kamikaze into a corner on you and try and corner bomb you. When they miss you enough times, they get bored, and then they know that you're not that you're not that easy to hit, and they end up either quitting or retiring. But I had a lot of fun in my league racing days. It was stressful at times, because you're dedicating so much time to trying to master your setup and your racecraft and your strategy itself, trying to perfect everything, and sometimes on the day, the important day, something would go wrong. You'd run a bit deeper into a corner and make a mistake and lose a bunch of time, or the weather would be completely different to what you've been practicing on. And so for me, I always used to run two races. I used to practice with full dry conditions, change into rain, and then intermediate conditions change into full wets. And I'd have a setup for both, and I'd have a perfectly dry setup and not a full wet setup, but a setup that would suit more of a wet track than a damp track, but was more suited, but wouldn't perform as well as if it was a full wet setup. And yeah. And sometimes a bug would creep in a new game, like back in F1 2013, I think it was, 2012, 2013. The game hadn't been out long. We was on doing our league racing, and we got to Sao Paulo, Brazil, and it was changeable conditions, and the rain came down. People had pitted already ahead of me, and they was on intermediate tyres, and their grip levels was much lower. They was running wide, some of them was spinning. Those who was keeping it on the track was just finding it really slow, and they was just holding out, hoping that the rain would get heavier. And I was on perfectly dry tyres, and I was blasting past all these people perfectly fine and happy, and the grip levels were so high. And then I went and put a set of intermediates on, and I had no grip. And but I think it was Martin Brundle who would call over the radio, I can't remember, but anyway, the advice given was that you need to change your tyres to wet weather tyres. The conditions had changed now, and I was getting that all through my stint, but because I didn't need to pit, and I was happily outpacing all those on intermediates who had pitted, I didn't feel the need to change to wet tyres, or any wet weather tyres, so I carried on my original strategy. And it turned out that it was a bug. I've had times when only happened 2 times, I think, maybe 3. I would pit and I'd get stuck in the pits. I couldn't get out. the animation would kick in. My car would be raised on the jacks, but the guys around the car wouldn't have moved. They'd still all be standing in a line next to the car. The car would rise, and the guns would go off, and the wheels would. You'd have the sound of the wheels being taken off, put back on, and the guns going again, fastening the wheel nuts. But no animation to show any of that happening, and the car wouldn't drop, and I'd be sitting there for what felt like an eternity, and by the end of it, it was an eternity, because it was like a couple of minutes sometimes, and by then your race is ruined, and it just becomes a practice session after that. Try and rekindle some of the damage, or try and ease some of that damage that pit stop caused you, and go out there and just give it your all. And I done that, and sometimes I'd walk away with the fastest lap. Sometimes my race would be just as it was, and I would finish outside of the points and be like, yep, that was a complete waste of time. But all in all, looking back now, that was probably the most fun I'd had online ever. And maybe I will return to league racing one day. Who knows? I may as well get this bit. Not that it will affect much, but yeah. So if you love your racing and you want to do league racing, just go for it. Don't be nervous. Just go for it. And I would always, when I was doing my league racing, I'd always have that nervous leg, that twitching, the nervous twitch, sitting there, and you're trying to feather the throttle, trying to get that fine perfection, not full throttle, and sitting there waiting for the lights to change. We had clutch management and everything to worry about, so sitting there feathering the throttle, trying to get the perfect balance so you wouldn't get wheel spin off the line, and when the lights went out and you dropped the clutch, and and my leg would be bouncing, and I'd be trying to hold my leg. And there was one day, it was raining, full wet race at the start, scheduled to turn to dry conditions by the end of the race, or towards the end of the race. And we knew for a fact that it'd be for the last 4 laps, most likely half the field, if not all the field, would pit to go onto dry tyres and take the risk, and push for those last few laps. We knew that would most likely happen, but I sat there full wet, my leg was twitching, and I punched my leg because I wanted the twitching to stop, and take your leg off your foot off the accelerator, and you're straightening your leg, and then bending and straightening your leg. There you go. That's the one. And trying to get rid of the nervous twitch, and then reposition and refeather and try and get that balance again before the lights go out. And yeah. Hey. That particular occasion happened on Spa. I loved that track, Spa-Francorchamps. Always a track that I loved racing on, and got there, and yeah, I still had a good race. I mean, I think I finished in either 3rd or 2nd that day. Started down in like 8th, I think, and between 7th and 9th had a really bad qualifying, and was I pushed out wide at the start, and I lost another position. I think that was that time, and then it became catching up to a few people, past a few people, and then it was status quo I wasn't catching the guys ahead, but I was pulling away from the guys behind, and I was just like, and we had in-game chat going on, which we don't normally do, or didn't normally do even, but there was a couple of people talking in-game, and they got told off for it, but one of the guys was like, yeah, you've got Cavalier Roy who's lapping really fast, and he's closing that gap down, and because my tyres were starting, either their tyres had started wearing out, or the conditions had changed and it just suited my style better. I don't know. To this day I don't know, but I'd started closing the gap down to the guy ahead, and he pitted and I carried on, and our times were still very similar. It was still full wet conditions, but our times were still very similar. Even though he'd got fresher rubber, he wasn't able to close the gap down. I was able to maintain that gap, and again I was closing on the guy that was ahead of me, and but I pitted before that guy, and yeah, they came out of the pits right behind the person that I originally pitted, who and managed to get past him, past somebody else who I don't know if he took his tyres too far, or if he had not long come out of the pits and just cold tyres and just went straight on in a corner. I can't remember, but managed to get past to him and was closing the gap down to others ahead of me. And by the end of the race, I was closing the gap down to the leader quite a lot, and I was like, at the end of it, did you ease off, and was you just pacing yourself back home? And he was like, no, I was full throttle, I was pushing as hard as I could because you was pushing. And I was like, oh, okay, I feel better now that I know I was actually catching you. But yeah, it was, like I said, enjoyable, really enjoyable looking back. I have a lot of fun memories, and made a lot of good friends during them days. And some of them still do racing. I don't know if they do league racing, but some of them still do race. I see them occasionally pop up on my Steam friends list in a racing game, and I'm like, you go for it, you keep doing it. They thoroughly enjoyed it, and we was all just into racing. I never saw them playing anything else. Nothing else ever popped up on Steam. It was always, when they was in a game, they was in a racing game. And normally it was F1. But yeah, if you're interested in what I'm on about with the league racing, my channel, my very early videos was all my league racing. There was no talking in them. I didn't do voice at that point. I was just recording and editing the videos. I would only it was because the rule was that if anything happened in a race, you had to prove if you made the mistake or the other person made the mistake, and the video footage was the best way to do it. So I'd record my videos and my races, and then I would edit them, and if nothing really was happening in the race, then I would, you'd just have a segment where it was just me coming into the pits and then gone, then me coming into the pits again, because nothing happened during that stint. If an accident happened that I was involved in, then you'd see that accident, because then that footage would be sent off to did we call them FIA? I don't think we called them FIA. I think it was the league, the league manager, and they would then decide who was at fault, and or if it was just a lag spike thing, because if the car ahead suddenly jumped back and then jumped forward again, which happened occasionally when you got too close to somebody, you know, you'd have that little jitter and you'd end up damaging your front wing. But you couldn't put that down to the guy ahead having, you know, brake testing you, because clearly he hadn't. It was you knew when he was brake testing you and when he hadn't brake tested you, and very, very rarely did we have people brake test us. You knew which people that you could race up close with and which people would be a nightmare to get close to because of the lag. And I had my fair share of incidents with people who was lagging, not crashing or anything, but passing them and then all of a sudden looking back and going, yep, they're far enough back, I can take my racing line. So then looking ahead and going, how the hell did you get back ahead of me? I didn't see you pass me. And it was just that, you know, that was where the server was saying that they were in comparison to where I was at that moment in time. And then they'd be back behind me and it'd be like, okay, exactly where are you? Are you ahead of me or are you behind me? And then when you broke a certain distance between each other, it would settle down and they would be driving around normal and they wouldn't be bouncing around. But yeah, still some frustrating moments, but for the most part, definitely good memories. And if there is anybody who watches these who does do league racing, then GG's, enjoy it. I did it from 2010 until the end of 2013. Started doing it in 2014, but 2014 the Codemasters had done so much to the way that their controllers had superior grip in the wet weather. They had like a built-in traction control over wheel users who would have no grip, and it seemed like for us we was always in wet conditions, and the controller users was just blasting around the corners like, you know, nothing happened, and us wheel users was fighting our car through the corners, little to no grip, and hoping, and we just had no chance of holding on. We could be, during the wood dry conditions, we could be, example, 2 seconds faster than them. But as soon as it started raining, and I mean literally as soon as it started raining, that was it. We, you know, keeping pace with them was a nightmare. They would be 2 or 3 seconds faster than us. And I couldn't race. I couldn't do the league racing under those conditions. And then in 2015, I put my name down as a reserve driver, and I got the call saying, you know, be online because you might be needed. And I was online, and it was like, yep, you're in. And I'm like, oh. Now, bearing in mind, I was like, I'm sure I was like 7th or 8th on the list of reserve drivers. And I was like, I'm the only one out of all the guys that was ahead of me that was actually online. Seriously? If you want your place in the league, you have to be there. And it was at Melbourne, and I hadn't done hardly any practicing. I just didn't have the time to do any practicing, so I went into that race with a very basic setup, and went out and started my qualifying lap and made a mistake. But at the time I was on for a very good lap, which would have put me easily in the top 5, but made a mistake. And back in 2015 you had people on chat talking, and which was off-putting because, you know, I wasn't used to that. And I had somebody go in, Cavalier Roy's putting a really good lap time in. He's doing really, first sector time he's up there with the best. Second sector time coming up now, and he's matched and whoever it was, so he's going to easily be in the top 7 at this rate. And I'm looking down at my delta going yeah, and a couple of corners in towards the end of the lap and just went that little bit deep, and it cost me, and I ended up starting practically last because of it. And then in the race, trying to get used to the grip levels when the rain came in and the car had no grip, and I was wheel spinning and running deep into corners, and then finally I started settling down into a rhythm and started pumping in lap times and closing the gaps to people passing them, and I finished in the top 6th, and that was my first and only league race I'd done in 2015. And the guy was like, do you want to come back and do more, because we can get you in, because there's a couple of us that aren't always here, and they've been warned that if they can't be here 90% of the time, then their position will be handed over to somebody else. And I'm like, I'll think about it. And I never got back to them, never went back. I don't know why. I really don't. I think at that maybe I'd put Farm Sim ahead of everything, and I was just busy doing and working on the map update for Farm Sim or something, I don't know, or for Newbie Farm back in the day for Farm Sim, I don't know, but whatever the reason was, that was it. And I've never gone back into league racing since. And 10 years later, and I'm actually missing it now. But I know I don't have the time to put into it. The amount of hours that would need to be tested, I just wouldn't be able to do any maps on Farm Sim. I'd be very limited. And yeah. You know what, we will have this field done before 6 o'clock. That's crazy, I didn't think we'd have it done. And I think we've talked about practically everything other than Farm Sim virtually. We have talked a bit about Farm Sim, the updates that are coming to the map, and you know, a few of the little bits and pieces and the rants, but yeah. But right now it's like 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm wide awake, literally wide awake. But that is a nice view. Can you do that for me, please? I want to go, no, yes. I want to get that as a screenshot. Maybe with that one. So those of you wondering why have you got that mod active, you're not meant to be able to use any mods like that. It's purely just for turning the HUD off, so I can take a screenshot. Everything that I've done in game is on cam. I haven't done anything outside of the videos. So every penny I've made has been on cam. Every piece of equipment I've leased or purchased has been on cam. Talking about being purchased. Do we have anything? You. Yeah, we definitely don't have that power. I wouldn't buy that. I don't like articulated tractors. There's not really anything here. That's a shame. But we're like, what, hour and a half in, and yeah. Oh, another thing that's changed very quickly in construction, under sheds, you'll find that there are multiple shed types now added. So, yeah. Gives you a chance to put some other kind of sheds down. That one, thank you. While I'm there you go, another one there, another one there, that one, that one, that one. Is that all of them? I think that's all of them. And then under here you have the wall, which I can't do anything with, but you can drag it and place it like the hedge that I've done. So yeah, more things that you can use. And if I go into the map and farmlands, you can't buy the plot of land, but if you bought the soup factory, you'd buy the plot of land that it's on. And that's for every single production in the map that you can do that for. They all have their own individual plots. Now, so more customizable land, more things that you can put down, more shed types that you can put down, a wall type that you can put down, a change to the productions. Will we get this made? We might be finishing on this row, you know. Might. I doubt it, but we might. I have a feeling it'll be the next row. I don't know if it's going to show us in here. I don't want you. So if we go down to brioche, 2000. Cookies, 1200. Diesel. Digestate. You can sell pretty much anywhere. Dough. Not worth much, but still. Donuts. Methane. I'm on hard, don't forget, I'm not on easy here as well. Pancakes. Oh, I didn't show you electric charge, did I? Down, where are you? Electric charge there. They're just over 1,000 on easy to sell, methane and and electric charge. Pancakes pizza. Potato chips, you can do this one in sunflower oil, soybean oil as well now. Sandwich. Soybean oil. Soy milk. Waffles. Yeast. And yogurt. But if you notice, they're all buyable at the warehouse, which is the big one. Oh, here's the rain came 1 hour early. And as expected, the next line would be the one that finishes the contract. But yeah, I think that then completes Riverview, brings all its functionality out, and hopefully is something that you'll all enjoy. And I'm just going to pull out there, even though I wouldn't normally. Well, we do have the refresh contracts in here as well, so we should technically collect our contract, shouldn't we? 183,000 now. Nice, right? Do I really want to do another cultivating contract at this stage? I don't think I do, but I probably will end up having to. Be nice if Giants brought in the water running down the windscreen. That'd be a nice addition. So while you're driving in cab, you could have water running down the windscreen. I guess they'd have to add the function of being able to turn on or off the window wipers yourself, though, if they did that. Or windscreen wipers, not window wipers. But let's turn all that off. And we will stay inside the cab while I thank you all for watching. And sorry it's been a while since I put one out, but I'm sure you'll agree the update for the map is going to make it more than worthwhile in the long run. Means I could technically go and buy a piece of land and throw some sheds down now and have a yard of my own. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, I don't know yet. But as you can see, we haven't had any issues with traffic yet, and we've been going for an hour and 43 minutes since 8 o'clock game time on the morning, and it's what, 5:30 now on the afternoon or evening. So yeah, we haven't had any traffic issues. But yeah, we'll find out. Anyway, I best save it, hadn't I? I will thank you all for watching, and hopefully I will be able to get back to doing these videos for you. Until then, take care. See ya.